Disney's Magical Express has become a staple of transportation between the Orlando International Airport and Walt Disney World. But now there's a question in play. Will it be the main form of transportation to and from the airport in the future? An executive at the Virgin Company recently confirmed that they're in talks with Disney to create a train stop between the Orlando International Airport, Walt Disney World, and Tampa, Florida. Now, for those who don't know, Virgin has some extremely fast trains. Some of them go up to the speeds of 120 miles per hour. That is extremely fast, and adding that form of transportation would no doubt cut down on the amount of traffic between Orlando International Airport, Walt Disney World, and Tampa. Now, we've heard rumors for a few years about the idea of a high-speed train between Tampa, Florida, and the Orlando International Airport. It makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of people going back and forth, taking trips, going on conferences. It's endless, absolutely endless. And now we have more of a confirmed idea that there will be a train stop, if it all gets done and built, at Walt Disney World. And that to me makes a ton of sense. Now, I'll be the first to say that I really do enjoy Disney's Magical Express at the Orlando International Airport. It's the most magical way to get from the airport to Walt Disney World. That being said, it does take a lot of time. During maybe a slower time of year, maybe it takes 25 or 30 minutes, but during, let's say, the Christmas season, it could take you an hour, possibly even more, to get between the airport and Walt Disney World. Now, if this train was only for tourists and vacationers to Florida, it would make sense, but it's not. The conversation goes even deeper than that. Apparently, the idea behind all of this is to help the largest single-site employer in the United States, Walt Disney World, transport more of those cast members to and from work every day. Now, it's true that there are many cast members who live very close to Walt Disney World to get to and from work extremely quickly, but there are others who do have to commute, take an hour drive from maybe far north or to the east, south. They come from all around to work at Walt Disney World. Again, largest or close to largest single-site employer in the United States. Now, as an example, if you're a cast member at Walt Disney World and you live in Tampa, just as an example, you have to drive an hour and a half to, and then an hour and a half from work every single time you go to work. So if you're working 5 days a week, that's a lot of time in the car. Imagine you could cut down that time by more than half. Sounds intriguing, right? Well, that's the whole idea, to help cast members, those who work at Walt Disney World, and those who are vacationing at Walt Disney World and other parts of Florida have a more seamless vacation experience without being on the roads as much. Living in Florida for just a few months, I can see why this is a good idea. Just going on I-4 kind of makes me say, is there another way? I just immediately say to myself, can I avoid I-4 if possible? That'd be good. There are just a lot of cars on the road. This would solve a lot of that. So there are a lot of reasons for this train. Now, the big question is, how long would it take to go from the Orlando International Airport, just as an example, to Walt Disney World? Well, I took a look at the map and just kind of from averages, this is not an exact science from this map, but it's about 11 miles between the airport and Walt Disney World, give or take. And let's assume that this train doesn't go 120 miles an hour the entire time. Let's just average 100, just for the sake of argument today. Let's say it goes from Orlando International Airport to Walt Disney World. Instead of taking between maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour, it would take about 6.5 minutes going 100 miles an hour. Pretending for a moment that it took you 46 minutes to get to Walt Disney World from the airport on one specific day, that is 40 minutes of vacation that you get back on both sides of your vacation. Basically, an hour and a half. To me, that is 100% worth it. You want to take the train so you can save that time, because vacation time is precious. And using our other example, let's say you're a cast member going to and from work, an hour and a half from Tampa to Walt Disney World as you're driving. Instead of an hour and a half, how about 32 minutes going 100 miles an hour, considering slowdowns and speed up and all of that? 32 minutes. You didn't cut it in half, you cut it in a third. You cut your commute into a third. So I honestly believe this is a fantastic idea, and I really hope that we get a station at Walt Disney World. It sounds like a great idea. More cars off the road, it's much faster, more efficient, a lot of people all at once, and there's a station right at Walt Disney World. But the bigger question, does this mean, if the train does come true, that it will be the end of Disney's Magical Express? Considering how efficient this train would be be hypothetical situation, has not been confirmed by the city of Tampa, Orlando, by the state of Florida, by Disney, or by Virgin. It's just early discussions, but hypothetically, if all this comes true and it's as efficient as we're talking about here, yes, it could mean the end of the Magical Express as we know it now. Now, with that in mind, if we do get this super efficient train and the Magical Express comes to an end, let's not forget that you still have to get transported from the train station at Walt Disney World, the stop at Walt Disney World, to your various resorts. Maybe that's done by Disney Bus, but there will no doubt be some other form of transportation to get you from that train station to where you need to go. Now, a more personal question: is this a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing. It is a good thing. Less cars on the road, less wait times, you can go a lot quicker, but I gotta tell you, change is never easy, and the idea of never stepping back on board one of those big buses to get to Walt Disney World, I kind of want to just step on it right now just to re-experience that, just in case. We'll have a lot of warning, by the way. If they decide to build it, we'll know years in advance, so don't worry. We will know in advance if they decide to build this train, but I will miss the Magical Express if this does indeed happen. And if it does happen, by the way, I feel like the Magical Express will keep running for years after it's already built, just to make sure that everything is efficient enough, the timing works out properly, they get all the kinks worked out. Then eventually. So if you're worried about missing the Magical Express, but you're still coming to Walt Disney World, let's say in 2 years, you're definitely going to be able to catch it. No doubt about it. It's not going anywhere for several years. Now, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. What do you think about the idea of a super fast train between Orlando International Airport and Tampa with a stop at Walt Disney World? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.